Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group. Today is Wednesday, March 18, 2026. And there's just a lot going on as usual. And I'd like to spend 3 or 4 minutes. We could talk about doing a bracket and filling out for the NCAA basketball tournament. And then we could also discuss how St. John's University has gotten screwed and really just disrespected. But that's another topic. So amongst the things going on for the financial markets, the biggest thing I think is, again, oil, but also this morning, PPI, Producer Price Index, came in above expectations for February. It's supposed to be up 0.5%, was up 0.7%, and that was more than expected. Now brings in the thought of rising inflation, and this was even before the price rise because of all the conflict in the Middle East. So you've got a situation where, again, the PPI is up, oil's up, and that will impact these indexes going forward. And you've got a Fed Open Market Committee meeting today. Now, nothing to be expected in terms of an interest rate change. However, I think it's an opportunity where Powell's press release and then press conference is going to be very important. And he could also say something concerning price of oil, jobs market being a little bit weak, GDP didn't grow as much as expected, and inflation may be rising. Package that all together, you kind of get up a picture of stagflation, and it'd be hard for him to justify cutting interest rates if you believe in that scenario and that backdrop. So I think you could see some, maybe some hawkish comments coming out of Powell. Again, he's not a friend of the administration, and even though many people believe the Fed's not political, I believe that it is, and that this could be a chance for Powell before he exits to stick it to the Trump administration. Beyond that, oil did come down on Monday, Tuesday. We had a little bit of a rally, up a little bit today, but I think again the markets are off today concerning I think the oil, also the PPI number. A thing we didn't cover is that the VIX futures expired today or matured today. It's a monthly occurrence, and that happened today. And that could also add to some volatility in the stock market on a short-term basis. And then also looking forward, Friday is options expiration. It's a big one. It's a quarterly one, and it's one of the largest in history. So again, it speaks to dealer positioning, traders, systematic, passive investing, that, the positioning and flows could have a big impact on Friday and have nothing to do with the headlines coming out of Washington, the Middle East, or any global headline. So, there's a setup here for maybe a little bit of weakness after the bounce we've had earlier this week. Longer term, these are short term kind of observations. I think, longer term, there's still some things, kind of being worked out. I do think longer term oil comes back down. But that, again, that's a topic for maybe June, July, or later than the year. And I think also earnings are going to be okay. But we've got a new, aspect, or a new fly in the ointment of prospect of higher inflation due to the oil. So we'll leave it there. Thank you for listening. We'll be back on Friday. Thank you again. Please like, share, subscribe, and send along any questions, comments. Goodbye.